we mentioned Grujic before, and we mentioned the likes of Danny Ings. Danny Ings is playing under 23s. Grujic, I don't think, has been featuring for that team. I don't know if you agree, and it might just be me, you know, I might be wrong, I hope, maybe in fact I'm not that bothered either way, to be honest. It looks like Danny Ings Klopp might just not fancy him. I don't know, just as a whole, I just don't think, I don't know, I've just got, my sense is that Klopp just doesn't think he's for me. I don't know if you agree.
I don't know, I mean, it's hard to say. He said in an interview in one of his post-matches recently that he said, like, obviously, it's about managing his fitness after the injury and stuff, and that's why he was there. But, you know, he said similar things about other players, about Benteke, and he's at Palace now, isn't he? So, you don't really know. Klopp's not going to come out publicly, obviously, and say, I don't fancy Ings, and it's not that. You know, that's not what he's in the position to do. So, I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ings. I think he's maybe obviously not produced the goods because of the injury and stuff, but I think as a profile player and his age, he's exactly the type of striker Klopp would want. And if certainly if you are going to rotate your team, he's the type of player I'd want to bring in for a Sturridge or an Origi or whatever, you know, kind of take the burden and split it a bit. But we'll never know. The only way we'll know is when we're sat here in May, whatever, at the end of the season, looking at the window.
And Ings is top scorer.
It would be nice, but I suppose Liverpool had offers for him in the summer though, and we did not. I think we'd knocked. There was talk of like up to £20 million getting bid for Danny Ings, so maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think with Klopp, he sees his first three strikers seem to me as though it's like Firmino, Origi, and Sturridge.
Yeah.
Whereas Firmino can drop into midfield and then play that role. There isn't really room for Ings there if he's going one up front. Ings is a really good player. He was flying. He chases people down. He was like a bargain bay version of Suarez, and he would just charge defenders down. And now, I don't know, when Klopp said that there's players at the club like Benteke, Balotelli and Ings, that was like a little slip of the tongue for me, which he didn't feature in his plans.
It's interesting, isn't it? Look, I think it's hard to say. You can't say it with any conclusiveness because of the injury he had.
Yeah.
So if he'd have only had a knee injury, if he'd have only been out for 3 months and he was in this position, yeah, all of us would just sit here and go, he doesn't like things because he's in the under-23s. Is this just a pure, like, really clever way of managing his fitness and of managing him back into the first team? So come Christmas, if he has to start rotating, or come the end of the season, does this fella who's actually not been rushed? Is it like, I'm convinced that he doesn't fancy Flanagan, because he's sent Flanagan out on loan and he's left us massively, woefully short of full-back cover. But the other argument can be made that no, he wants him to go and get game time. He's going to go and play week in, week out for Burnley in the Premier League and come back and have improved. He can play a season, be a better football for it, and then next season he's fighting for that right-back or left-back spot. Who knows? It's with the thing of time. It's whether you look at it of are his decisions now what you believe of as a Liverpool fan or a Liverpool manager, or is he playing a long game? He joined the club and he said,
build something big, isn't he?
Yeah, and he joined in his first ever press conference for us. He's sitting there and he says, if I'm sitting here talking to you in 4 years' time, we're talking about that we've won at least one league. So he's thinking longer term. Is he like, actually, I happen to be very lucky that I've got Coutinho, Firmino, Mane, Lallana, Sturridge and Origi who can all play in the attacking three. So I don't need Danny Ings. So let's not ruin this lad and rush him back. Let's let him have a 12-month, 14-month rehabilitation so that next season I've got this lad who's still not going to be dead. He's not going to be old by that point, who's raring and ready to go, who we can use, or we sell him in January. And it could literally fall either way.
Sturridge could like snap a hamstring and then he's
at any
out
point.
And that's where you need someone young like Ings to come in. That can happen at any point. We don't go from 1 week to the next without knowing, oh, Sturridge injury, quaver legs, you can't do anything.
Exactly.
I suppose with Ings as well, we kind of forget that he is young because we come from Burnley, he was like playing every week.
Well.
He looks like he's he looks older than me, but he's played for the 23s. But he can play. He qualifies to play for them. Again, it's probably the Brannigan thing and the Grujic thing again. When we bring someone in who's experienced, even at a young age, maybe we just expect more from it, or we think they're coming in to be first team players, and in fact they're not. They're just backups, and they're going to play kids footy.
Exactly. It's not. Well, there's an expectation, isn't there, as a fan when you see, okay, ultimately, how much did we end up paying for him?
Seven.
And he scored goals in the Premier League. you think, okay, first team, and you want them to all be first team players, and I'm as big a person for that as anyway. I am not happy with us not buying a left back, because I wanted us to go out there and buy a first choice left back, etc. But there's ultimately, there's an element of ruthlessness and almost being a cunt of being a football manager. And like Ferguson was so good at being a cunt.
Oh, he was the best.
You know, because he's such a good cunt, isn't he? You know, like he's a horrible cunt, but from a Liverpool fan. But in this specific aspect of cuntishness, it's keeping players around just to fucking use them when you need them. And our best example of that is Kevin Stewart. Kevin Stewart is fine. He's going to get, what, probably 3 starts. If everything goes our way and everything goes great for us, he's going to get 3 or 4 starts this season and then pick up 5 minutes here and 7 minutes there just to bring on and just do what you need him to do. Now, is that holding back a fella who could go down to a few other Premiership teams or definitely be a starter in the Championships, progression as a career? Is he happy with that? Is he getting told? Is he getting, oh no, if you train really hard, you will break into our team, and in 2 years' time you'll realise that was all a lie? Yeah. But you've got to have those utilities and those stopgap players. Is Ings just our version of that? You know, 1 or 2 injuries up front, someone who's gone away, African Cup of Nations is coming up, so Mane drops out of that team. You're going to need an Ings just to come on to occupy a defence for 20 minutes in a game.
Even if you're 1-0 up, and you see it with all the top managers, the 1-0 up, it's getting to 90 minutes, they throw a sub on, that uses 30 seconds,
breaks.
They throw another sub on, and then before you know it, it's 94 minutes, you're in the corner flag, you've got the win.
Yeah.
How many times do we bottle it in like the last 15 with a bit of pressure? Break up that pressure with a substitute. You might not even want them to kick the ball. Yeah. You just want to waste 30 seconds and stop their momentum.
And if the quality of what you can bring on is...
Oh yeah, if it's good, that's a bonus.
Is a bonus, isn't it? You know, a lad who will run, a lad who will work hard, a lad who's wanting to prove he's a good footballer, which is what Ings will be, is better than bringing, you know, Woodburn on. Yeah. Even though I think big things expected of Woodburn, you're more likely to make a mistake if you're a kid. You're more likely to fucking do an ass-pass corner, aren't you? You know.
Oh, let's. Oh. Right, so that was a short snippet of our discussion on Danny Ings from our Reds News Roundup. If you like what we had to say and you want to see more of that kind of thing, head over to the website, redmentv.com. Subscribe. It's only £2 a month. Your first month's free as well. All kinds of stuff like that, long-form content that you don't get on the YouTube channel. So, like I say, if you liked what we had to see, what you've seen there, head over there now. And until next time, I'll see you later.